Okay, so let's see. Let's see the heintige. Okay, did we do Advat B'chal already?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So here should we do Advat B'chal.
We just did the 5 cases.
אני יכול לעלות למתקן? גם מבנפים.
לא, לך לשם, למתקן שם, לך שם.
Advat B'chal is up to 6. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, next. Okay, this was, we learned about an animal that lost its skin.
71?
Yeah. We learned about an animal that lost its skin in Chaludo, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Also, skinless animal.
Okay, now the animal loses its skin.
I want to know why we're rushing. We have important things to do.
Now, we want to know if
Yesterday, on the subway, going down, I tried to find these things.
yeah, you can't find them.
Are you sure it's a good idea to walk down
This
the
is very
hall
good,
by
this is
the
good.
cat's room?
No choice, I'm starving. I've got to get to the kitchen.
My lunch. Don't bother running because I will totally paskin you.
No, I have a panic button. I'll call for help.
Don't move. Don't do a single thing.
What?
I'm telling you, Davki, if they come to save us, he'll kill us.
Dad, wait a second. I'll close the door. That's it. Davka can save us.
No. Even if you save yourself, he'll lose control and finish us. Davka, if we do nothing, his claws are nothing.
Are you talking about the Daf Yumi? Oh. Wow, how are you not scared? I just remembered that Lida'at Chachamim, he's not dangerous anyway.
I spent $45 on a linen shirt for my husband.
Shane, the audio and the video don't match over here. Okay, Zog Tehillah Gemara. I think we're being recorded. We are being recorded. Zog Tehillah Gemara. Omer Rabbi Yehuda. No, where are we at? Memhemadov?
Nune.
Oh, I'm from Mish. No wonder I look funny. I'm not from Mish. I'm sorry. That makes much more sense. That makes more sense. Zog Tehillah Gemara. Nita Latcho. Omer Bavira Mishmei Rava. See, that's why I was able to do why we're having it. Omer Bavira Mishmei Rava. Lo Shonu Ela Nitel. When we say Nitel Atchol is not a treifa, that's if the tchol is completely removed. Aval Nike, but if the tchol is punctured, then treifa will be a treifa. Moshe Rabbi Yosef or Avin V'Temer Rabbi Yosef or Zvida. Now, the explanation given asked if it's nitel completely, so then it will be cauterized and sealed. But if it would, it would end up sealing itself. But if there's a hole in it, then it would leak and leak and leak and cause damage. So the Gemara, what happens if there's an uber in an animal and someone sticks his hand in and surgically cuts off the leg of the uber, but leaves it inside? So now it's a loose aver inside the mother. And then the mother gets shechted, mutubachila, because the pasuk says, "Kol asher ba behema toichelu." Whatever is inside the behema, you can eat. So it doesn't make a difference if there's a loose aver there. However, minat cholu minat kloyos, if you stick your hand in and cut off a piece of the chol or a piece of the kloyos, then it'll be also ba'achila. What's going to be also ba'achila? The piece of chol that you cut off. The piece of kloyos that you cut off. Ha-behema gufo shari. But the fact that the behema is now missing part of its tchoil is not going to be a problem. So you see, even if there's a part of the tchoil missing, even if it's nitel with tchoil, the behema is not going to be treifa. Why is it different in the aver?
Yeah.
Why is the tchoil of the animal different in the aver? Zot Rashi, מן התחול מן הכלול שבהם הם נתח מהם אף על פי שלא הציח את איכם מתויכה, so it should still be covered under the kol ba behem teichelu, also ba'achila, משום עבר מן החי, והוסם koyalav taima, me'oisa teichelu, so it says kol asher ba behema, but it also says oisa teichelu, dafka that you should eat shloima v'loy chasera. Only if the mother is complete, not if the mother is missing. Kloimar, kashi shleima hu de kaminalach kol ba behema techelu lahater davar achar shebegufa. Abo kashi chasera, da nimza b'seicha mechasroinahu, then lo sharinalach kol ba behema dahinu nimza ba. So any behema that's nimza in a complete animal, you're allowed to eat. But a piece of the animal itself that's in the animal, you will not be able to eat. But the animal itself you can eat, even though it's missing part of its tchol. So this should qualify at least as nikvat tchol, which should make the animal treifa. Yet you see it doesn't. The chol nekar b'shem chitachu.
I mean, you obviously compared this, but I'm just reading what our scroll says. The first part is you choitik the uber, and the mutter ba'achila is not the uber itself; it's the actual favor.
Not only the uber itself, even the actual, even correct.
And when you says menat chloyois, that's the animal, the mother.
Yeah,
the mother. It's the
you cut the mother's chol and the mother's clothes. But the mother you can eat, just the chol you can't eat.
Correct.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
So what's the husband?
Because the whole heter to eat any animal that's inside an animal is called by behemoth techelu. The pasuk is inclusive, but the Torah also gives us a meat, and the meat that the Torah gives us is the meat that the Torah gives. Rashi told us is oisa dafka it is a meat. So we apply the meat to if the animal itself is missing, that the part of the animal itself that was cut off, that wouldn't be covered by kol asher behemoth techelu. Only if the mother is complete and there's some other pieces lying around, like from her uber, only that will be included in the special gili of the pasuk of kol behemoth techelu.
There's no din of being boidik or uber that you find inside.
That's right. You have a card table. It's more than that. Even if the uber comes out alive, you can eat it alive. You can chop pieces right off it because it has the heter shchita. So zok the Gemara weiter. Habem guvashori. So that's more to know who adin tavilu behema nami yasira. Avada, the whole behema is also because it's now a treifa. So why did the Mishnah only say that the tchol is aser? Why did the Mishnah say that the whole animal will be aser? Adi the tanaresha mutar ba'achila. The emphasis really is on the resha that even this is mutar ba'achila. So therefore, it expressed the seifa in reference to the item itself that was cut. But avada means that the whole animal will be also because it is in fact the treifa. Maybe nikaf is even worse than nechtach, and therefore nikaf would be also would be a treifa, but nechtach wouldn't. And again, I don't know how to explain that. If you cut a piece of it off, how could that be better than if you made a hole in it? But I don't know the science behind it, but we have some sefer that we looked yesterday that was quoted by, who did he quote it from? From Wolfson, I think, that you told me I have to tell over to Chaim Tzvi, that the science will work its way out. But first, it was some sefer who said it, that's right. So the science will work itself out.
No, the point of his comment was that you can live with a shayla today.
That's right. Nicht alles darf man wissen. Okay, let me just see what mic we're using. Sagt the Gemara weiter. Amar Rochesh Bar Papa. So Rochesh Bar Papa, I think Shmuel commented that he's making a big debut over here. We only find him by the Siyum, but in Chullin he got involved before the last day. Amar Rochesh Bar Papa b'Shmei Derav.
Are the kidneys?
Close to the kidneys, yeah. Raksha b'chol ye'echas. What if one of its kidneys, Rashi says, got damaged? Kigoin malam mugla, it was full of pus, so it was infected. The Allah is the animal's treifa. Ami b'marava, but who the matoi lakusa? This is only if the infection penetrated l'mokam charit. The heicha makam charitz. Where is this makam charitz? L'chiyura de tusi masni. It's the white part. What is the translation of tusi masni? I don't even know what that means.
Under the animal loins.
Under the loins. I mean, the whole kidney is under the loins. That's what I didn't understand. So there is a white section. I'll show that to you. They have a very good picture of a kidney, a cross section of a kidney. So
The article has one too.
here's our kidney with the fat. Now here's here's the cross section of a kidney, so it's hollow inside. But right in the center where the artery feeds it, there's the mechitnas. Your mechitnas here. Right in the center where the artery connects to this fat area. If the infection reaches here, that's when the animal is a trefa. He's up to Gemara weiter. Amar Nechunya, Shaltinu Lechula Trufo de Marava. I asked all of the experts in Hilchas Trefa in Marava. Normally they told me Hilchas HaKarochish Bar Papa. We passed like Karochish Bar Papa who said that Lokza B'Cholachas Trefa. So we pass in like Rochish Bar Papa, but the less Hilchas HaKaravira, but we don't pass like Rabbi Avira, and Rabbi Avira is the one who said Rabbi Avira said, where's Rabbi Avira? He said right before Rochish. He was right before Rochish.
It was right in the beginning of the daf where we started.
So what did he say? He said Nita is mutter and Nikav is also. Right. So we don't paskin like Rabbi Avira, meaning Nita L'Tchol would also be a treifa. So Dr. Gemara, let's look at Rabbi Avira. Lo Amram El B'Kosei. I'm sorry. The law is not Rabbi Avira that Nikav, the Chomer of Rabbi Avira, that Nikav L'Tchol is a treifa. We don't paskin like. But Lo Amram, that we say it's not a treifa, is El B'Kosei. The spleen has a thicker area where the artery comes to it or it connects, and then it gets to become a very thin piece of organ. So where do we say that a hole will not make it a treifa? That's if the hole was in the very thin section of the spleen. Ava b'sumchei, but a thicker portion, it will be a treifa. I'm sorry?
If you look at the picture, the fat part is called thin, and the skinny part is called thick.
There is a thicker part and a thinner part.
No, it tapers down. It tapers down.
Look at the bottom picture.
Oh.
Maybe it's the way it's sitting on the
It's just the way it wraps around.
So Dr. Gemara, but v'i shtayer bei ku'uve dinner zov kshera. Even
You
if,
can't see it.
Maybe.
It's
even though it's punctured, if there is the thickness in it left, that's the thickness of a dinner zov, which is several millimeters of unruptured tissue, that would be not a problem.
The spleen is attached to the kidney. What is it?
I think it's supposed to liver, no?
The liver.
Let me see.
We have a spleen.
So this is a spleen over here. This is a spleen. So it's thicker over here, it's thinner over here, and they show it more. They show it more. So this is the thicker part, and this is the thinner part. But they actually show
You sell spleen?
here. It's very hard to see. So, Martin, to you, this looks thicker because it's wider, I assume, and this looks thinner. But here you can see there's a cross section of it. See the green line?
Yeah.
So they cut a cross section of it, so it looks like it's maybe a centimeter thick, and here it thins out to a point.
Even though it's wider, it's just.
That's right. It's almost like that part went through a steamroller, and that didn't get pressed down yet. And this is a spleen after the fat layer is taken off. Here it shows there's actually a fat layer over the spleen, and it's partially peeled. This is while it was in the fridge, and this is an hour after it came out of the fridge.
Or after it went on the barbecue.
Now, this is what it looks like when they take it out of the fridge in Kapakut. Okay. Sagt die Gemara weiter. I thought it's not even healthy to eat organ meat.
I don't even know if
The liver.
that's why I asked.
Yeah, liver is the only organ that we eat.
He was in the business.
He's not allowed to give out all the trade secrets. Okay, sagt die Gemara weiter. Amri b'marava. They said in Marava, Kol ha-posel bereya kosher b'cholya. Anything that would passel if it occurred in a lung would not passel if that same condition occurred in a kidney. What's an example? Sherei nekef passel bereya. If there's a mere puncture in the lung, it's a treifa, but a puncture in the chulya, the kosher b'cholya. V'chol shekein hecha the kosher bereya. If there's a condition that would not make it a treifa in the reya, kosher b'cholya. Because the kolya is less severe, less sensitive than the reya. Are you going to start now making generalizations, comparing organ to organ? If there's pus found in a lung, it would not passel, but it passel b'cholya. Yet looks a b'cholya, as we said, if there's pus in a chulya, it will be passel. Or varimayim zakim the ksherim hacha ve'acha. Or if there's just water inside the lung or water inside the chulya, it'll be kosher in both places. Now Rashi says lo yadana my kusha. I don't know what the kasha from that is. We're trying to show where something will be more chomer by the kolya than it will be by the reya. This doesn't show that. So Zok Toises Pirsha Kodesh lo yadana my kusha. V'yeshlem Zok Toises maybe the hachi perusha. Varimayim zakim the asu machmas lekusa uksheim b'cholya v'loy gamrina mimugla. And we don't compare it to mugla. All we're trying to say is you cannot compare conditions because everything in every aver is different. So Zog to Gemara, Elo Amar Abashi, Trevis Kamadamas Ladadi, you cannot do that. Ein Oimrim B'Trevis Zu, Doimalazu, Sherechaitcha Mikanu Mesa, Uchaitcha Mikan V'Chaisa. Now, this is a very, very interesting line, because the first time we had this line, Rashi says, if you cut the animal above the tzumas hagidin, higher up on the animal's rear leg, the animal will be kosher. But if you cut it a little lower, which is in the tzumas hagidin, where all the sinews come together, then it's a treifa, which is counterintuitive. You would think the higher you cut it, the worse it is. But that's not the example Rashi gives here of the same comment of the Gemara. Unless Rashi's bedavke picking different examples to illustrate in different parts of the body, you have that same idea. So look what Rashi says. Chatoch b'simin oigid tzavera umesa chatoch kol kasvera v'chaya. You can cut the entire shoulder off and the animal will be just fine, but you make a little hole in the simin and it's possible, so you can't compare from one to the next. Zok the Gemara, umayim zakin ksherim, if there's water in the spleen, is that going to be kosher? Lo yamorin eladetzili. That's if they're clear water. Avalachiri, if they're cloudy water, treifa, that would be a sign of, I guess, infection. V'chitzili nami lo yamorin eladloisriach, if it doesn't have a bad odor. Avosriach, treifa. I guess that's a sign that there's deterioration. Hakol yishektina. What if a kolya contracted, it became small? So bidaka, if it's a beimedaka at kapul, it would be kosher until it reaches the size of a pull. Less than that, it's going to be a treifa. It's up to a bean. Begasa at keinvabedinis. Does that mean like a cluster of grapes? What is the invabenus mean?
Medium grape.
A single grape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zot gonna nitel lachia tachta. It's lower jaw. It's missing Omar Abzera. Now, without a jawbone, you can't chew. But if it could be fed and stuffed manually, then it won't be a treifa. Then treifa. But if you wouldn't be able to feed it, so now this animal will not be able to survive, then it will be a treifa. Nitla em shala, its uterus was taken out. Tana hiya em hitapachas visha fuchis. That area, the nether regions, has many different names. So we're talking about lungs that became hardened. Why did they become hardened? Because the animal was subject to a sudden scary sound like thunder, and that will heal up. But if it heard a mechanical noise, like an explosion or a compressor starting, that maybe would not be mutter if the lungs hardened because of that. So how could you tell the difference, and where's the line to draw in between the two? Tana Rabbanan, Ezeh Charusa, Kol Shetzom Koreh Shalah, Bidei Shemayim would be Treya, Bidei Adam would be Treifa. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says, Af Bidei Kol Habriyos. Now, what does Bidei Kol Habriyos mean? Zogt Rashi, Bidei Shemayim Mikol Bor Varam, like a thunder, Bidei Adam Shavisa Adam, then Lahadribari, Kol Habriyos Shagas Aye V'Kol Shachal. So it's a natural noise, but not directly natural. It comes from an animal. So this is in the middle. I'm sorry?
How are you supposed to know?
The Gemara is going to tell us. Ibailu, Reb Shimon ben Elazar a Reishakoi? Was he saying he's going on the ratio, meaning not only is Bidei Shemayim thunder, but Bidei Shemayim is also if a lion roars, and therefore what he's saying is a kula, ulakula, or Yasef v'kol ulachumra, he's saying Bidei Adam means not only a mechanical noise, but also if a lion roared. And then he's saying it l'chumra. Toshma, the Tanya Charusa B'dei Adam Treifa, Reb Shimon Elazar Omer, Af B'dei Kol Habriyos, so clearly he's saying it l'chumra, that a lion roaring and suddenly shocking and scaring this animal is no different than a mechanical sound. Rabbi Bar Chana Havaka also b'midbar. He was walking in the midbar. Ashkach, the midbar sounds like it was a scary place. He was walking in palm springs, right? Ashkach Hanu Dichri did Tzomak Redidu. He met some deer. I'm not sure what it was. What are dichri? Rams that had this condition on their lungs. Also, Sholei Midrasha. He came to ask in the Bismedrash, are these animals kosher? Amulei, they told him, this is how you test it. So you want to know how you test it. Bekaita, if it's summertime, in Palm Springs is always summertime. I see Meshichli Chiyuri. Take black kalim, white kalim, umelinu maya kuriri, and fill them with cold water. Then chinu me'esles, and leave these lungs in the water for 24 hours. Hadron baryon, if they soften up, then it's a sign that it's b'dei shemayim hi uksheira, and then the animal is kosher. V'loi treifa, but if they don't restore their original softness, then the animals are treifa.
This is what they're talking about in the Bismedrash.
B'sisu, but if it was in this winter,
What's the difference if it's B'dei Shemayim? Did you say it?
yeah, because if it's b'dei shemayim, it will heal. It's healable. It will get better eventually. Yeah, but if it's b'dei adam, it will never correct itself. So the animal will never be able to breathe. B'sisu, so this poor animal, you're not going to tell me if I'm going to live till you take my lungs out and choke him, and then you're going to give him back to me? I mean, what am I supposed to do until then?
What's the difference if it's healable, if it died while it was not healed?
Because if it has a condition, and you shechted it with that condition, but that condition was not a death sentence, so then it's not a treifa. Sis, I think, is the winter, right? The winter, I see Meshech Lishchume. Take a black keli, fill it up with tepid water, and that's how you can tell how it happened. Hagluda. Gluda means it lost its skin. I think we saw an illustration of that this morning. Somehow an animal ended up in a potato peeler. Tanu Rabbanan. Hagluda, Reb Meir Machir v'Chachamim Paislim. Uchorhei Elazar Safar v'Yoichem ben Gudguda ala Gluda shepsula. I don't know why I use the word psula. It should use the word treifa. We had it a couple of times. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Chazer boy Reb Meir. Reb Meir was Chazer, and he also was made that a Gluda is going to be a treifa. Michlal, the Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Reb Meir begluda. So obviously, if we're saying that Reb Meir was Chazer begluda, it must be that according to Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Reb Meir argues. Because if you notice in here, Amar Reb Shimon ben Elazar Chazer by Reb Meir. So Reb Shimon says Chazer by Reb Meir, Reb Shimon ben Elazar understood that Reb Meir was originally arguing. The problem is we have a brayso that seems to indicate that maybe there was never a machlokes about gluda in the first place. Everybody agreed that it was possible. There was never a discussion. Rabbi Yosy, the son of Rabbi Yehuda, the perfume dealer, Lifnei Rabbi Kiva, Mishum Aptarfin, al hagluda shepsula. However, ve'im nishtar boy kesela kshera. But if there was a piece of skin that was not damaged, that was the size of a sela, then it will be kosher. Amar Nachman Yitzchak, my lo nechleku. What does it mean? It doesn't mean there was never a machlokes. Avadi there was a machlokes, but eventually Reb Meir was made that the gluda is a treifa, and what he meant is like Amad Reb Meir ben machlakusai. It means Reb Meir didn't maintain his position. Reb Meir eventually was made to the chachamim that it would be a treifa, and that's all Reb Shimon Elazar meant. Amar.
So that's an askana.
Everybody agrees that if there's less than the skin of the size of a sela remaining on the animal, it's going to be a treifa. I don't know why that animal was dancing after it got skinned. It just became a treifa.
It's not an animal that's flayed can't live. It's protection for the rest of the.
I guess so. Yeah. The largest organ on the body is our skin. Right? Amar in the star boy kesela ksheya. So what does that mean? Hecha. Where exactly does this patch help? Anywhere on the body, or only in critical places? The entire, you need a sela across the entire spine. You have to run along the back. That's where it has to be. What if a sela, let's say, is 4 square inches, just for argument's sake? So can you stretch that out and have like one tiny line of skin all the way down? If altogether it would add up to 4 square inches, so ibelu the oich v'koten the chimitzaref la havik kesela, is that what it means? It has to be the diameter of a sela. Let's say that's 2 inches, and you need a 2-inch strip all the way down the back. Toshua the Polish Rabbi Neroi Mishmei Shmuel bereichav sela al pnei kol hashedra kula. So you need one strip of skin across the whole back. That will heal. That will heal. Yeah.
The animal won't die, or the skin will grow back?
I'm not sure. I assume it means because the skin will grow back. I believe Rashi might say this beferish. The Yosy Shir Maila Arucha means it will grow back. So let's go more weiter. Rabbi Bar Chana Omar Roshe Prokim. It means the Roshe Prokim. Roshe Prokim, I guess Rashi says it's the different joints. B'chol Pirkei Chol Yosef V'atzomus the Shofar Yerich. It seems like by every joint there has to be a patch of skin. Okay, and Rabbi Elazar ben Antigonus Mishum Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Yanai Amar Mokom Tibure, by his belly is where the skin has to be. Rabbi Yanai Bar Yishmol Nito Mokom Hashedra B'Kulakaim. If the Mokom Hashedra is critical, what if the skin everywhere but the Mokom Hashedra? Or Nito Mokom Tibure B'Kulakaim, or Nito Moshe Program B'Kulakaim. My Teku. Because now that you're saying these are critical areas and these will grow back, what if that's the only area that doesn't have skin? So the Gemara remains with the Teku. Omar, today we're going to learn about the skinning on the skin. Right? Now I have a title. Omarav, Kola or Kuloi, Matzel Begluda, Chutz Me'or Besa Process. Skin found anywhere on the body, if it's the size of a sela, I guess will grow back, except for the or that's found in the base of process, which means Rashi min harkuva ulamata, below the knee. That skin is not even considered skin. To lehava or b'pnei rak. Since that's very soft, it has the din of basar, not the din of or. So therefore, it won't grow back. Rabbi Yochanan Marvilu or base of process nami will grow back if there's skin over there. Matzil. Or base of process mau sheyatzil bigluda. That's the same shayla, right? Will or base of process help? Which is the same shayla we just discussed over here. But we have, I guess this is under a different time and a different place. They cleared the shayla. Amalei matzil. He said, no, that skin it will grow back. Amalei, but limaditanu rabbeinu, elu, the following areas of skin, she'oresein kivsorim. The or has a din of basar. Lagabe what? This shayla is not lagabe growing back. This is lagabe another halacha. Rashi says le'inyan de mitamen oyin kibesarin. The basar of an animal that's tameh is mitame, but not its skin. So where is or considered skin, lagabi that it will be mitame, and we want to say if it's going to be mitame like basar, then it doesn't have a din of skin, and if it's not mitame like basar, it does have a din of skin, and maybe that will also define what skin is lagabi growing back. Or based on process, it's kabasar. Which means, how can you tell me it'll grow back? You see, it doesn't have enough skin. It has enough basar. On my way, I'll takniteni. Don't get me upset. I don't give validity to the brisa that you're quoting, because shabaloshin yochid ani shaynaisa. I hold it's only a yochid. I hold we don't pass like that. The Tanya we learned hashoichet es ha'oila. Now we know there's something called pigel. So if you shech the carbon and you have das to be makter, it's a murin, or whatever you have to be makter of it, like on the carbon oil, everything but the skin. To be makter, it's chutz l'zman or chutz l'mkoimoy, it's going to be pigel. So what if you shech it in oil and you had in mind to be makter a kazais of the oil that's under the tail? Now that's very soft, or that also. The question is, does it have it in of basar, or does it have it in of or? Chutzim koima, pasal in bekaris, that's called baby pigel, and chutzim mana is pigel b'chayamin of karis, not for the machshava. If you went and eat it, now it's basar pigel. So you see, as it didn't have basar, because if it didn't have it in of basar, it wouldn't be mefagel. Zok to Gemara, so it wouldn't grow back. So you see here that you see from here that he holds that that's basar, but that's a yochid. That's a yochid. Eliezer ben Yehuda ish ivalim amar mishum Reb Yaakov v'chein ha'ar Reb Shimon ben Yehuda ish ichos omer mishum Reb Shimon echad or beis haprosos v'echad or haroi shel egel rach, very soft hide that also has a din of basar, v'echad or shel tachas ha'alya v'chol shemanu chachamim gabei tuma elu sharisein kipsarim. And all the places where the Torah says lagabe tumah that it has a din of basar, all those very soft skins, lahavi orbeis haboishes, which would also include the orbeis haboishes, where it says when is coming to tell us that we're also referring to the orbeis haboishes. Chutlim kaimei pasol vein beikaris chutlim zmanoi pigol v'chayovin olav karis. So that there it clearly says that these areas are kibosar, and that's a shittish yochid, and I don't hold like it. I'm sorry?
What? Translates it as kudindam.
What did he say?
Or base on voices, it's a kudindam.
I don't know, but it's a place where the sun don't shine. It's very soft areas where the skin is could be eaten. Yeah.
That's the uterus, maybe.
The reason why it doesn't, no, it can't be the uterus because it's an external skin.
It's or base on rechem shalom.
So it must be all around it in that area, and that's also very soft, so it could have it enough meat. So Zok Rashi, he considered this to be a shidduch yochid, so therefore don't be mirai from here. So let's see what it says there. Shimon katanila upli yelei tanakam latana ela oshetachas ayi lechudei. So he argues this whole brayso is shidduch yochid, and therefore he holds that it will be basar. I just find it very fascinating that the Gemara held that whatever has the din of basar lagabe tumah v'tahira and lagabe pigol has a din of basar lagabe skin, and it won't grow back if it's there. Like one is like a medical issue. Will this skin grow back to the rest of the body? Since halachically it has a din of basar because it's soft and you can eat it, therefore we say medically it's not skin and it won't grow back. I like you're not madam a travis ladadi, but here you are madam, or could be that's why it has a din of basar because it's edible, and if it's edible it's soft and it won't grow back. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we will stop here, Ben Hashem, and we will be mamshach tomorrow.